interviewing Coach Grant with the Athletics Lab located in Maiden, North Carolina. Thanks for joining us, Coach Grant.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be on here, and I think what you guys are doing is great. So can be happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. Did you play baseball as a kid?
I did. I spent my whole life playing baseball from a very young age. I would consider myself very fortunate. My dad was a high school coach. Sports has always been a part of our family. And so the time I was really walking, I had a ball in my hand or shooting basketball. Baseball in particular runs deep in my family and the roots. I started playing organized baseball from age 6 on up. And really haven't stopped since.
What position did you play?
I was one of the kids that decided to put on the catching equipment and get behind the plate. So I was a catcher, and I've been catching since I was 6 years old, and I really didn't have a choice because my oldest brother, 4, he needed somebody to catch him. And I'll never forget the first time I put on this huge equipment. It doesn't fit. Shin guards are up to my waist, chest protectors hanging down, and I'm back there catching his bullpen. So that's why I became a catcher. I guess I was considered a pretty good athlete, so I could play multiple positions. So I played in the outfield. I played the infield. I pitched some. That's something we instill in kids today. We think it's important for kids to be athletes.
I'm a catcher also, and I pitch and I play shortstop also.
Awesome.
What did your favorite thing about catching?
Favorite thing about catching? I think my favorite thing about catching was just being able to be a part of play, every single second of the game.
Why do you think kids shy away from being catchers?
Well, from my experience, even growing up but really coaching a lot of kids it's just the fear of getting hit with the ball. And, the one reason, and you can ask your friends this as well, and I'll ask kids, straight, a lot of times being straightforward, if you're afraid of the ball, you can't be a catcher. So that's why kids, shy away. It's the fear of getting hit with the ball. It takes a special person to be a catcher, long term, and to really love the position and embrace being a part of the game every pitch. That's the other thing. And then really embrace the physical challenge of it.
What was your favorite thing about playing baseball as a kid?
For me, it's about the competition. Even as a kid, what makes it fun is how competitive or how challenging baseball is. Baseball is the most skill-intensive sport there is, and it is not easy to play. It's the greatest game. You have to learn how to deal with failure because you fail so much in baseball. But it's just so challenging and so competitive. And it's really a competition against yourself every time you go out there, if you think about it. As a kid, it was an opportunity to be outside, to be with your friends, and then, of course, hitting. I mean, my favorite thing in baseball, and still is hitting the baseball. There's something about hitting a baseball that ever since I was little, it's just the greatest thing in the world to me.
Who is your all-time favorite player?
Oh, wow. Great question. There's many of them, but I'm going to have to go ahead and say right now, it would probably have to be Mike Trout. So Trout, and the reason why is many reasons. He's the total package. All right. He plays the game the right way. He's a great teammate. All right. First and foremost, he always has a great attitude. And then, of course, you throw in all of his physical attributes. Outside of that, he has unbelievable power. He can hit for average. He's a great defensive player. He's a great runner. He can steal bases. He can run balls down the outfield. So, he's a total and complete package. And what's cool about seeing him on TV is whenever I first got into coaching, I had the opportunity to see Mike Trout whenever he was in high school. So, to see him then, and then obviously, what he's done, he's just a great guy for the game of baseball. He's the face of baseball for all those reasons. And, you just can't beat on top of that, how great of a guy he is.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Maiden High School. I graduated in 2001. I was a three-sport athlete at Maiden.
Why did you start the Athletes Lab?
Why did I start the Athletes Lab? It's a passion for sport, passion for youth baseball. I felt like there was a vacuum in the area whenever I came back. So about 5 years ago, I got out of college coaching. I moved back into the area to start another profession. One thing led to the other. People found out I was in town. I started working with kids, and it just kind of grew from there. But really, why I started was, I wanted kids to be taught the game of baseball the right way, and I'm very passionate about that. And with experience that I had in college coaching, and of course, the experience my brothers have had as well, we felt like that, we could bring a lot of quality and value to the kids in the area. I want to see kids be treated the right way. I wanted to see kids be coached at a high level, but fall in love with the game. That's really important to me. Kids need to be challenged. So it's not about, the money. It's not about, having Athletes Lab all over the place. The focus is on the baseball player. It's on the youth. All right. What are we doing to benefit the youth and develop them at the highest level? Are we doing everything we can as baseball guys, as athletes in the area? And that's why Athletes Lab. It's just not about baseball. But, there's many other sports out there, and everybody that plays a sport is an athlete. And I think it's important that they learn, their craft, and they learn how to train the right way.
How do your travel ball teams work?
Our teams are 8U through 16U. But, how it works, it's important because first and foremost, the goal and focus is the athlete and the development of the athlete. All right. We want kids to develop at a high level. If they're developing, then they're having fun. And if they're focused on the process and developing, then they're going to go out and win ball games. Our goal is not to win ball games. All right. That is the result of the preparation and the plan that we have in place. All right. So again, the focus starts on the athlete. How can I get you better from the time you step into our program? And so we put a huge emphasis on that. So our coaches practice our guys twice a week. We make sure that we play the necessary amount of tournaments, but we don't play too much because we want to make sure there's enough time for their development. First and foremost, we make sure that there's quality people in the organization. We want quality people, and quality people that have a heart for the youth. And if they have a heart, for the youth, then we know that we can give them the necessary resources. If kids want to go out and play travel ball, we want to know that, your kid can't wait to play this weekend. Your kid can't wait to come and train. So if we don't feel like the kid's having fun, then we address that. If we don't feel like the kid's engaged or he's too young and he's just not quite ready, then, we can back it off and we can revisit it.
Why do you think youth sports are important?
Why do I think youth sports are important?
Yeah.
Because there's no better channel or avenue to teach life than sport. All right. In sport, you go through success. All right. Well, you have to learn how to handle it. You go through failures, especially in baseball. A lot of the times it has a very high failure rate. You have to learn how to handle it. You have to learn how to interact with your teammates. You have to learn how to be a good teammate. You learn habits as far as physical activity and preparation and having a plan. And all of this is what serves kids for the rest of their life. No matter what sport it is, kids need to get out there and play. They need to be involved. They need to be active. They need to learn, how to deal with relationships. And like I said, the ups and downs of it. Just no better way to teach life lessons than youth sport.
What advice would you give to parents about their kid playing baseball?
It is your kid playing baseball. It is not you. So make it fun. All right. You want to encourage work ethic. You want to encourage leadership. You want to put guidelines in place and structure for them to go to practice. Um, but at the end of the day, it's not you playing anymore. All right. It is your kid playing. If you go to the ballpark and your son doesn't have a good game, the first thing you don't need to talk about after the game is why didn't you have success? Why did you miss this ball, or why didn't you pitch well today? Um, that's for a later time. Okay, let all of that digest. Have some fun with them. Grab some dinner, whatever it is, and then later on in the evening or the next day, say, hey, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what I saw. All right, and this is what I saw, and how did you feel about it, and have a conversation. I just feel like you got to keep perspective in all of it.
Well, that'll be all for today. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. I had a blast and more than happy to do it anytime.
Hey guys, this is Jake Plays Baseball. I did an interview with Coach Grant with the Athletes Lab. The facility is a big place. There's two sections. The first section is where like catchers and there's like a big field. Then the second section is like a lot of batting cages, pitching mounds, and the weight room in the back. Coach Cam is the coach that we had, and he worked with me and my brother with the batting. The coaches are very, very nice. Here's a little extra footage with Coach Grant when we talked to him about the Athletes Lab.
And what we do at Athletes Lab, to expand on that a little bit, we work with kids of all ages from 8 through pro ball. Have a college weight room, pro style weight room, full turf field for speed and agility and Vertimax training. So we've really gone to the lengths to make sure that athletes develop at a high level in the right way.